What's up, guys? This is Sam McGeek back here on a cold, blustery Minnesota day to do a little cross-reference between the Kia. This is a 2024 Kia EV9, and we do have a Tesla Model Y here. I did trade in my Tesla for the Kia EV9, so very experienced when it comes to EVs. I've had several. I've had the Model Y, I had a Model 3 Performance, I had a Model X, and a Rivian R1T. And the very beginning, I had a Volvo S90 hybrid, and that's kind of the gateway that got me into having an EV. So I have some notes today. This is the one I promised you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the Kia EV9. We're going to do a little cross-reference with the Tesla, as I mentioned. We do still have the Tesla in the family, so I can drive both of them, but have some notes here. So I'm going to give you guys some kind of go through some of the questions on my last video. You guys were asking kind of why did I change? What's my experience been with this? And again, I apologize because it's freezing cold out, but I really wanted to get this video out. So first and foremost, I do want to give a big thank you to Kia in Bloomington, Minnesota. Dave and Christine were the folks that helped me get this vehicle. Well, we have officially moved locations to a warmer spot. That was a little bit too windy and too cold. So again, as I was saying, thank you very much to Luther Kia in Bloomington and Dave and Christine. You guys were awesome. They made it a really nice experience over there. I'm very happy with the dealership, especially coming from sort of that touch-free with Tesla, Rivian, not having to work with a dealership. I was a little bit nervous when I walked in there, like, because I was really just wanting to check this thing out. I had no intentions of bringing one home. And so it was just nice. They welcomed me with open arms, and they were very friendly. So kudos to those guys. I came into the dealership, I sat in this thing, and I was genuinely shocked about how nice it felt. And then I took it for a test drive, and that really sold me on this truck. I think I literally said when I came back with the key that I am genuinely shocked about how much I like this thing. I think those were my actual words. If Dave's watching, he's probably laughing now because he's remembering that my comments when I walked back in after my test drive. But in all seriousness, it's a really, really great truck. And why I changed was I needed towing capacity and utility. If you're driving right now a Model 3 or Model Y or any other type of EV and you're considering this, or gas cars, you've got to probably be in the same scenario as me. You're probably not going to buy this if you are just wanting a small car, clearly. So you need the towing capacity and utility. This will tow up to 5,000 pounds, which is perfect. I have a pontoon that I kind of haul around town, and then twice a year, I will go from storage and back, which is about an hour trip. So this will have plenty of range for me. I don't do mega road tripping, anything like that, so it's not a huge issue as far as the range is going to go. So towing and utility, I was limited to vehicles as far as EVs go. I was limited to a Model X, which I found was not that much of a change from the Model Y. Sure, it was a little bit more space, but it had a really, really tight third row, and I was like, and it felt like it was kind of funny towing a pontoon. It was too small. The Rivian, I wasn't going to get back into another 2022 Rivian. I did not want a first year product again. So I was out on that. And then the R1S essentially starts several $1,000s higher than where the flagship EV9 ends in pricing. So the Rivian, I was priced out. And the Cybertruck, as you can see right now, was just too expensive. They invited me to purchase a Founders Edition, and it was a $100,000 truck. And I said, no way. And then when I saw it at the show, I brought my son to go see it at their showroom in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And it was literally roped off with red velvet ropes and red carpet. And I talked to the gal at the front, and I said, when can I test drive this thing or sit in it? And she said, oh, no, I can't even sit in this, and I can't test drive this. Only my GM can. And I'm like thinking to myself, this is not the vehicle for me. Something that is roped off with red velvet ropes and red carpet. You expect me to spend $100,000 to be the first one to drive that around town? I'm like, you're nuts. So the Cybertruck was out. I'm still a big Tesla fan, and I think the Cybertruck's cool, but I don't think I would own one anytime soon. So about my use, I think it's important to point this out. Clearly, I'm an EV person, so I understand range. I understand what happens in the winter, that you're going to lose some range. But my day-to-day use is I'm not driving over 200 miles a day. I do occasional road trips for work, but I'm comfortable with that because what I do is just plan out my route, and I stop at a charger or supercharger or whatever it might be, and I charge for 30 minutes. I knock some emails out, do something, get some work done, and then I'm back on the road. And so it's not, for me, having an EV is not a big deal for an occasional road trip. Now, if you travel every day over 200 miles a day, well, you probably should get a gas car. You probably are not a candidate for an EV. Maybe down the road, they'll have an EV that has a 500 mile range that's good for you. Until then, just stick with gas cars. But if you travel a little bit closer, you're under 200 miles a day. I mean, this thing will do over 250 miles rated on a nice day, but of course you're going to experience a little bit less in the winter. But again, I don't think most people are commuting back and forth to work and running errands more than 200 miles a day, and there's plenty of range to get 200 miles out of something like this. So yeah, I put on a few miles here and there. I don't travel a ton. I don't have to commute to work because I work from home office when I'm not out seeing customers. Plenty of range. It's a great, the range is not an issue. The other part that I want to mention here is that charging. I think it's important. So I have two 240s in my garage. One of my 240s is hooked up to my electrical company, and they give us a discounted rate to charge at night. So it's like pennies to charge this thing. So if you are not road tripping every single day and you have access to a charger, you're probably a candidate for an EV like myself. So what do I like about EVs? I just want to spend a quick 30 seconds on this. I really love the driving characteristics. There's not a lot of machinery and grinding and noise and gear shifting. It's just a smooth, nice experience to drive an EV. That's what really genuinely attracted to me to purchasing EVs. It's just how smooth everything is. I like there's no warm-up period, so when it's really, really cold outside, you can jump in this thing and just rip it to wherever you need to go, versus a gas engine that is an ice block when you warm it up, and you got to wait for that thing to warm up. And if you don't wait for it to warm up and you start driving, it sounds like your engine's going to start falling apart going down the road. That, to me, I just don't like that experience, and so I don't get that with an EV. It's great. I also I'm really, really spoiled with preheating this thing in the garage. So I turn the cabin on a little bit before I come out, the pre-warming. So I jump in it and it's 68 degrees, and it only takes a couple minutes. It's not like I'm burning endless amounts of energy to warm the thing up. It's just a couple minutes later I jump in and it's nice and toasty. And it's nice in the mornings, you're sipping on your coffee and you just jump into your warm car. First world, problems getting into a cold car, obviously, but you get really spoiled. It's pretty awesome. So what do I like? So the other question I got was, what's the practicality of this vehicle and the cost? Just to 10 seconds on the cost. As I mentioned, really there's no competitors to this product. There's the Volvo that's coming. There's the R1S. And really like the Model X. And the Model X is small. It's in kind of a different category. The R1S is sort of a variant of this, but it's more of geared towards like an outdoors person who's going camping in really rugged terrain and needs that capability and is willing to spend more money. This is more of like the relaxation version of an R1S, for lack of a better term. That's the way I see it. It is a very practical vehicle. I think that this is kind of a Swiss Army knife this is 2 weeks of me talking now. I see this as having the utility, the towing capacity, the space, the comfort. It's just a well-rounded, really, really nice vehicle to drive. It's sort of checking all the boxes that I wanted in a vehicle. Sure, it would be awesome to have adaptive dampers on this truck like the R1S does, but it does handle nice because it has the low center of gravity, so no issues there. But it does have the soft, floaty, really comfortable suspension, which 90% of the time I want. I'm not out ripping, S curves and things like that. But so my favorite features so far within the first couple of weeks, sort of my genuine review of this product is that it's awesome. And Kia did a great job setting the bar. But of course, there's still some features that I like, right? The seats are number one. You can literally get in, recline it back. It's got a leg rest thing on it, and you can just sit there and work on some emails while you're charging or do whatever. Or I was sitting in the car wash parking lot line the other day and adjusted the seats into a really comfortable position, and it was just awesome. So next is the heads-up display. I'll show you guys an image here. It basically has, you know, your lane keep information, your blind spot monitoring, your navigation, your speed, the speed limit, et cetera, et cetera. Really cool. I am just digging having that, and I'm using it more and more. I'm not used to it from my previous cars, but I'm noticing that I'm looking at that for my data more and more. And then the self-drive in this car is awesome. That's a must-have for me from coming from the autopilot and the Teslas. I just loved the lane keep and the self-drive feature. But this does one thing that Tesla doesn't without having to pay for it. It does auto lane change, which is super cool. You just have to gently have your fingers on the capacitive touch wheel and it will shift lanes for you, which is sweet on the highway. And then I like the fact that I can drive lane keep and then adjust my own throttle for whatever reason. I just like that feature because I feel like I can keep space and distance between the cars ahead of me better than a computer can sometimes. And if you're engaged in the driving and you just want to kind of chill out on the steering a little bit, you can just lightly monitor the steering and the car will steer for you. And then you can just, you know, feather on and off the gas. I think the Teslas are essentially too aggressive when they follow vehicles. It's like, go, 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 stop, stop, stop. And it just doesn't do what a human driver would do, like driving very smooth. And so you can do that with this one. Turn on the lane keep only and then adjust the throttle yourself. So that's really, I did not expect it to do that, and I really like that feature. So a couple things I want to talk about, and then we'll wrap this video up. The least favorite things about this are the storage. There is not enough room in the front. There is not enough room under the floor in the back. And those two features for me in an EV kind of have to be there. They are there in this, but it's not quite enough space. I wish Kia would have made a little bit more space for stuff, because you've got this great utility vehicle with tons of space, but the storage is kind of limited. The app is okay. Again, you know, being spoiled, you know, Tesla is a software company that makes cars, and so of course their app is going to be better. I think Kia has room to improve on their app. It does, you know, some things like, for example, it's again, first world problems. You can start your climate and you can start your heated steering wheel, but you can't start your heated seats. Like, why? What's up with that? The other thing that really I think is probably going to be my number one frustration about this particular vehicle is every single time you get in it, you have to manually turn on the one pedal driving. There's like a paddle on the steering wheel that you have to click and turn on your one pedal driving. If you're an EV driver like myself and you're used to it, that should just stay on. So Kia, please update your customers with the ability to just leave it in the setting that it was left in. When you go in reverse, it kicks it out of the one pedal driving as well. I don't know why they do that. I'm assuming it's because they think a lot of ICE drivers are going to change to an EV, and they're going to want to feel the difference between the brake and the throttle. Where EV drivers are used to like one pedal driving, we don't want to use the brake. So if we don't have to, so Kia, you got to fix that. And I mentioned it before. No adaptive dampers, that would have been nice. The vehicle handles like surprisingly well around like long S-turns and roundabouts and things like that. But it would have been fun because it's got a sport mode. So it would have been really cool to adjust the dampers. Now, it does have supposedly auto leveling rear suspension. It's not air suspension. I think it's some kind of oil reservoir. And so I'm going to run some tests on that. I'm going to try and hook up a trailer on this thing and see what happens if we get it to sag down or if it kind of auto levels. I'm just genuinely curious to see what happens. Stay tuned, you guys, because I'm going to post that one. So overall impressions, I will continue to make this a series. I will post more, get some driving content out there for you guys, some charging content. But if you are in the position that you are driving a gas car right now, or you're like me and you owned a Tesla, a Model Y, a Model 3, a Model X, and you're considering this, I hope that this video helped you guys. This is just more of a chit chat about where I came from, why I looked at this vehicle, how this thing caught my attention, what I like about it so far. It's only a couple weeks in, so give me some time, you guys. But hey, thank you so much for joining me today and listening to what I have to say on the EV9. I truly appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or you want additional future content, please do ping me below, leave me a comment, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful day.